watch the sunrise on a tropic isle. Just remember, darling, all the while
I took a trip in the middle of Snowdonia for a few days. A quiet village, open skies, mountains, trails. So I walked alone. I ventured onto a trail where trees hung by my sides. Flowers grew silently from the ground. Fields stretched further than my eyes could follow, and mountains stood still on the horizon. Simple. Everything felt so simple, and yet nothing, and I mean nothing, felt meaningless. I sat there and listened to the silent wind. In the distance, I noticed a woman painting. She was dabbing her brush in the ground, then dragging it across her canvas in gentle strokes. And it made me think. Sometimes we admire beauty our hands could never create, so we try and produce the closest thing to it, with a pen, a brush, and a little imagination. I approached her and asked, "What made you want to paint what your eyes can see?" And do you know what she told me? But she wasn't painting what she could see. She was painting what she could feel. She called it textural painting, using materials beneath her, wet sand mixed with soil, each turned into expression. And I wondered, is this what happens when people are exposed to a more simpler life? A life quiet enough to notice. Seems so simple. Yet I found myself envious of one thing. Not of her, but of the fact that someone could sit there surrounded by miracles of creation and appreciate them without being consumed by the noise of the corrupted world around them. And maybe that's where I began to see it. Not all at once, but slowly. With every step, the world seemed to reveal something else. I carried on walking, and the trail opened into fields where sheep were scattered across the hills, each one moving quietly through the grass, unaware of how peaceful they made the world look. I watched them for a moment, how even they had a place, a rhythm, a purpose. Further along, I noticed the ground beneath me was alive in ways I would usually ignore. Worms moved through the sand, small and fragile, hidden from the eyes that most people don't see, yet still part of something much greater than themselves. And I thought, how strange it is that even the smallest things are given a role. The earth beneath us is not empty, it's moving, it's breathing, holding life in places we rarely look. Then the path led me towards water. Rivers moved through the land with such ease, carving their way through stone and grass, never rushing, never resisting, just flowing exactly where they were meant to go. And I wondered if that was what peace looked like, not the absence of movement, but movement without fear. Later I stood in the middle of a beach, with sand stretching across my vision. For a moment, everything felt so endless. The sky above me, the sea ahead of me, the sand beneath me. And there I was, standing in between it all, small enough to realize I was not in control, but seen enough to know I was not forgotten. I looked down and saw the shells scattered across the ground, each one delicate, each one shaped with a detail most of us walk past without noticing. They were small, but they were not simple. Not really, because even in a shell there is design. Even in something washed up by the sea, there's beauty. Even something broken, there's still a trace of where it came from. I saw crabs wrestling by the water, tiny bodies moving with instinct, fighting, surviving, living out a life completely different from mine, and yet somehow they belonged there. The sheep in the fields, the worms in the sand, the shells, the river cutting through the land, the mountains standing behind it all. Nothing felt random, Nothing felt wasted. Everything had its place. And that's when I realized maybe the evidence of God doesn't always come in ways that we expect. Sometimes we search for God in signs, in answers, in moments that feel big enough to convince us. But maybe He has been showing us all along. Anyways, goodbye Wales, and I hope to see you again. I recommend anyone who comes there to make sure you don't just climb Mount Snowdon, you actually go on your solo walks and you explore and get to know the community, get to know the people of Wales. Because there's more to Wales than just mountains.
I'll be looking at the moon, but I